Good morning, all. Ira Epstein with your Morning Flash Update, and this update is for the morning of Monday, and we're here at the 6th of March, 2023. Well, as you can see, the big rally in the stock market didn't give it up this morning. That's important. You know, I went back, looked at the seasonals, and from March on, you normally have uptrends in stock indices. I'm not saying that every year is the same, but I went and looked at a 30-year, a 15, and a 5-year, and there's a strong tendency for markets to rally in stock indices. I looked specifically at the S&P at that number. I understand the arguments that earnings have to come down. I understand we're pretty much through with the quarterly earnings as well, the reports, and there was about 68% beat. You heard me. So companies that were expected, they're going to falter, the majority did not falter. And I think that's important to understand. They were able to pass things on and still survive with it. We saw China over the weekend start their party congress. It'll go for 1 week. They came out and they said they're going to increase defense spending by 7.2%. They've set a low target goal. Maybe the idea there is to beat it. 5% for their GDP growth. That is a low number. I think what they're doing is saying that maybe the COVID-related issues, just like in the rest of the world, you come out of it and the economy start growing. We see that in our service industries and and people look for jobs. We see that. Maybe they're looking at the same thing. They're trying to get 12 million more jobs filled. That's an important number, too. In the grain markets, you know, it's every time you come in now on a weekend, the question is, what does it look like in the harvest now, early harvest that you're getting into in parts of South America? That'll be the important thing. I know this sounds crazy, but next month, early plantings can take place in the South for our corn crop. So you've got to start thinking these ways through it. The notes and the bonds getting a bit of a bounce, but there's a reason for that. Let's look at the day's news, and maybe that'll help you. First, we get factory order data this morning coming out at 9 o'clock. They're looking for a decline of 1.5%. The Reserve Bank of Australia, well, today they're going to announce what their policy is. The market widely expects them to lift the official rate by 25 basis points, but the question is it going to sound dovish? That's what market's looking for. Fed Chair Powell speaks tomorrow. This is what you got to think about in the bonds and notes. He starts a 2-day speech on Capitol Hill before the Senate and the House, and we will find out just what is going to happen there, because this is going to be very important. What does he say? What's his take on the jobs report? I think he's going to declare that they're making good headway on inflation. Even Tesla today lowered the price of its top-end vehicles in the neighborhood of what I read 5% and 9%, depending on the Plaid or the X. But very important, they are lowering them. And there's a price war going on from Tesla in China that is really hurting their electric vehicle makers, because as they go down there, they force everybody else down. And, you know, most of these companies, other than Tesla, don't make money on electric cars. They lose per unit they're doing until they get to a certain break-even point. Friday morning, we're going to get the jobs report. You know all eyes are going to be on that. That's going to be the event of the week. I wrote about it in detail last night in a special report, basically, for my clients, giving them 3 different scenarios out of that. Then next week, we get the all-important CPI data leading right into the European Central Bank meeting on the 16th, I believe that is, and then our meeting on the 22nd of our central bank. So you have a full plate. But as I said, the market, powerful. It's holding on to the gains. I was amazed at the strength on Friday, a big change in the market. You can't get away from that type of rally just being a flash in the pan. It never broke during the day. Every attempt to drive the market down, minor amount, was met with new selling literally right into the close of the day. So you pay attention there. Markets that got hurt by China not throwing a lot of money at their economy are the energy markets. Look at how much you're down, by the way, in nat gas. I thought this was a market that would peak out near its upper Bollinger Band, which it turned out to be that it exactly did. I think it's important in Bitcoin and Ethereum that with Silvergate saying they're not going to do certain types of transactions after the close of business on Friday, that the market didn't go into a tailspin. Generally, you hear that type of news and it means, oh, there's real troubles brewing. That was impressive to me as well. So you put this all together, you try to come up with game plans, and that's exactly what I do for my clients in the morning. First thing we do in the morning, we start talking the markets, and we talk them in great detail. Ideas of how you set up the charts. What's the chart pattern look like on the daily and the weekly? Here's a buy. Here's a sale. Why? What's it look like? What are